Once again, another Chibi hour talking about EVERVERSE, but it's something good, and that's good, right? You know, it's different too. Obviously, we're going to talk about the TWAB, about the EVERVERSE changes and such for the future, and it's really good stuff, honestly, and I really was hopeful that that was going to be the case, like, before they even made the TWAB. I remember talking on stream where I told people that I feel like the reason why they're not really vocal about EVERVERSE is because they don't want to be vocal about their financial issues. And I know that they've obviously had to probably pay a lot to leave Activision, but take the IP of Destiny with them. And on top of that being self-publishing and so on, and the funds mainly just being tied to what they're doing, instead of a publisher, I knew that there was probably some kind of financial reason why they were making EVERVERSE kind of not be a big deal right now. And I know that kind of sounds like, oh, they just made sure that EVERVERSE was the way that it was for now until they got enough money, and now they're like taking it into a better direction. And it's like, of course, you know, that's fine. Honestly, the EVERVERSE store I never really had much of big issues with on the format, because it's cosmetic only, other than, yeah, $10 for certain exotic emotes and such was a bit much, and some of the things that were in the EVERVERSE store were just not that really interesting, and some of those things obviously could have been for the game. And with that being said, they talk about that in this TWAB, and it's really, really good. I honestly think it could be something to be excited about with the EVERVERSE change, for those who are not spending money, of course, because they're being a lot more generous this time around with how they're going to make the changes with the EVERVERSE store, this future seasons and such, and expansions. And again, I figured that they would probably do something like this because the EVERVERSE store just fell off. And the way that we got Bright Dust was just tedious. And they look at all these different things, you know, remember at my Chibi hour, well, you probably didn't see it, but if you did, I talked about, the EVERVERSE ideas of, like, bounties and how they could change how you get Bright Dust and stuff. Instead, they go a better route where they take that idea that I had with bounties, but make it more account-based instead of characters, which sounds great. Depending on what it is, of course, but I'm pretty sure they're not going to go where it's like, you must do 20 raids to get 10 Bright Dust. It's probably going to be more lines of what I said that in the Chibi hour, where it was more generalized, like activities, whatever you want to play kind of deal, and you get Bright Dust that way. That would be amazing. And they did say that we would get more Bright Dust. So more than what we would get out of the weeklies per week for all our characters, I would assume. So that's great news. Honestly, that's perfect. So that's good. But of course, one of the biggest issues that a lot of people have with the EVERVERSE store is not even just the Bright Dust, but it's the fact that the armor with the ornaments and stuff makes all the other armor that we go and acquire kind of useless, other than, like, the stats, of course. Well, they have this cool idea where you can either spend silver, which, you know, a lot of people could probably be like, I don't want people to be able to spend money to use their raid armor on any armor or whatever cosmetically, but you could use in-game ways of getting it to this point, but you can turn it into an ornament where it could be used on any armor. That's amazing. That is one of the things that I was hoping was going to happen in general for our armor, because honestly, I do like the whole D1 way, where if you wore the Vault of Glass armor, it was pretty obvious what the perks were tied to your armor, but with the new mod system that they're going for, I'm okay with these changes, where they turn the armor into ornaments. When you earn them, you can work towards turning it into an ornament itself. So if you earn that amazing, super cool raid armor, it can be used anywhere. And that has also made them look at the season armor not being the season pass anymore, where the ways of earning it is in the game. Perfect. You know, great. And not only that, but they mentioned, like, sparrows, ships, and ghost shells and such, you know, those kind of cosmetics that look like it's tied to, like, the dungeons and stuff will not be in the EVERVERSE store. So we'll see things actually inside of activities again that are cosmetic. Because before, Luke Smith was saying that, well, we think that cosmetics should be tied to the Eververse store, while all the loot, like game-changing stuff, should be in the game. And it's like, I agree with that, sort of, but, you know, having certain cosmetics inside of, you know, the activities in the game as well to earn gives reason to grind for those things as well, especially if they look fantastic. I mean, excuse me, I remember people grinding ridiculously for like just the ships in D1 that were super rare. I mean, I think there was one in the Taken King that was a Sparrow or something that was so rare. There was a Ghost Shell, I remember, in Crota's End during Age of Triumph that people were trying to go for. Like simple stuff like that. Heck, there's even the emotes in Leviathan Raid. I know that they strictly were talking more about Sparrows and stuff, but I would even say that maybe emotes, if they want to do something like they did with the Leviathan Raid, where it looks like it's tied to the activity, that would be interesting. I mean, take those Gambit emotes and have them drop inside of the Gambit playlist. I think they said the same thing with like ornaments for weapons would be dropping for now on inside of activities, which would be great. They also made statements about how vendor refresh it's outside of Eververse. Like, so they were talking about Eververse, but then they decided to talk about other things that tie to armor and weapons. But vendor refresh on the three core playlists, Gambit, Crucible, and Vanguard Strikes, will get a vendor refresh every year. That's how it should have been. Because honestly, grinding for the same armor that we've had in the game since Forsaken is just tiring. Having new armor sets to go and grind for is great. And I even remember in D2 Vanilla where we were grinding for the ornaments of armors each season that were just ornaments to enhance the look of the already acquired armor sets that we have. That was kind of cool what they did there, but I'm fine with at least having a new armor every year. And they said the same thing with Trials, and they said that the armor will be brand new. So every year there'll be brand new Trials armor as well to grind for. And they're looking into Trials Adept weapons, which is great. You know, good on them for doing that as well. They've talked about ritual weapons, or they called it Pinnacle weapon or something? Pinnacle Pursuit weapon. So, remember the ritual weapons and the pinnacle weapons? I'm hoping what this means is that this will be a pinnacle weapon, but they said that every season there'll be one weapon that you can pursue. But you can go and pursue it wherever activity you want to do that in. And when you get it, you can do like specific playlists to earn ornaments that are tied to those playlists. Like if you want a Gambit skin to it or something, that sounds interesting. But the only thing that I'm wondering is it a pinnacle weapon, like, you know, Mountaintop, Not Forgotten, Revoker kind of stuff. Because I would much rather have one weapon every season that's a pinnacle rather than 3 to 4 ritual weapons, because as much as I like, you know, some of the weapons like Randy's throwing his knife, we got some that are just like what like the Komodo linear fusion for Crucible. So I would prefer it to be like that, the pinnacle idea where we get one per season and you could pursue it wherever you want. That's great as well. Overall, this TWAB was very informative on things that a lot of people want to hear. I mean, this is great. This is great news. And obviously, this is just small things. They've even talked about how they want rewards just to be better. In aspirational activities, obviously, that I'm pretty sure that means, well, they did say it was at raids, trials, and dungeons. And I think that in itself is great. So having more rewards, having the pursuit weapons every season, core playlists getting a new armor set entirely for every year. Granted, I would like to see also maybe some weapons, not just armor, but still, this is great. And I don't know. Other than good job. That's good. It's good. I want to see the more specifics, especially on like the bright dust, the core mechanics of how we get bright dust through the account system. How do these ornaments and stuff that we earn in the game is going to look? How is it going to be crazy hard to earn our armor into ornaments, or is it something pretty simple if we love that armor set and we work with it? Like, what is it? Like, what do we got? Because honestly, good job. You know, that actually, it's funny because I planned on making a video. I may still upload it. I don't know. But it was a video where I was just telling everybody, calm down. You know, I know that Destiny right now is not in a great spot, but we're used to this. And we wait for good news, we wait for information about what the future holds, and then we get excited, and then it comes out, and then we're like, yes, this is great. And then there's one season or a few that people are just like, I'm bored, I'm done, and they think that they have to quit because nothing's gonna get better. Destiny has always been like this. It's sadly, I'm hoping that gets changed, and I'm hoping with how they've already talked about the future changes to the season format and stuff will mean that they are looking into making this not be an issue anymore, but we'll see. But either way, optimistic. These Eververse stuff and the armor ideas, the trials, adept weapons being told to us, which we knew about, that they were looking into that a while ago, but yeah, this is good. So I just wanted to give my thoughts on this because obviously I talk about Eververse a few times, a lot, I know, on this channel, and I've always told people that I'm fine with the Eververse store. Like, I'm fine with it, but I feel like there's more better ways of doing it, and this is one of the better ways that for sure. So good on Bungie on that. So either way, I want to know your thoughts in the comments down below on this topic. Do you think this is great? Do you have any other thoughts? Whatever, just let me know. All right, and you. Yes, you. Have a chibi-tastic day, night, evening, whatever time it is over where you live, whatever. And thank you so much for listening. Chibi out.